Right, so hello again. So basically we're back onto this motherboard. Um, just going to show you, this was where we have put some tagged on titaniums that you saw in the previous video. And it's good to open it actually. I've checked all the, I'll check them again as well when I put it back together. But before doing everything I've done on the board, all the readings were really good there. So now we're just coming to the point where I've decided to de-lid the RSX, and hopefully I've got a little bit of liquid metal left. I don't know if that's the case, and we're about to find out. Just off camera, I'm just trying to squirt some onto. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, have I got enough? It's a very small amount. Yeah. Yep. So I think I do have enough. I'm just going to be dabbing this on. As you can see, I've used some tape, some heat tape to cover traces that could actually, well, resistors should I say, not traces, little tiny resistors that if this came into contact with, it wouldn't be good. So this was literally the tiniest blob of liquid metal. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can. It goes a long way, so I'm just pushing it out because it's all I've got. It's the last of it. I need to get some more. So yeah, this is thermal grizzly. You can get it from Curry's, other electrical stores. No advertisement intended there. It's just where I got that one from. So yeah, I did it on one where the RSX, I replaced the tokens and it was still quite high. This isn't actually that high, but if we can get it lower, that's all going to be good, because I think the whole problem with this to begin with, obviously having the green light of death, is that there was a problem with the substrate. I think it might have been because it took a knock, but it was probably on the way out. I found the substrate of the RSX just to be a little bit more reliable. I don't know how true that is. Okay. So what you're not seeing, let me just move this over. I've obviously got the top part of the lid on the heat spreader, and what I'm doing is this tiny amount, which is like the smallest amount you can imagine. I'm now just trying to spread out, not very successfully, but it will do. I think that's going to have to do. It does remain wet even on the cotton wool bud. I don't have any more. I don't think this is gonna go the whole way. Okay, that's gonna have to do, I think. Right, so we make sure that none of it touches the board. To make sure that's on is pretty much as good as it can be. Right, so yeah, when you're using liquid metal, just be really careful. I used a cotton wool bud, obviously. It was like the tiniest drop which I had left, and that's all you need. It's just like this tiny amount that comes out, and you can literally spread it with a cotton wool bud. As you can see, it's covered the whole RSX die, and it has actually covered most of where it's making contact as well. So the idea there is that it makes the best possible contact. We don't really have a problem with the RSX. Whenever you delid it, you'll find paste in the middle. You won't find paste in the middle if I delid that, that's for sure. And I think that's because on the RSX it protrudes out, and it's straight, and I think it's been proven that this is slightly off, and that just leads to like the smallest amount of air getting between the CPU die and the heat spreader, which makes the contact of the paste, you lose contact with the paste, and this is why we need D-lids and stuff. The D-lid will typically last 2 years, and then you'll get the problem again, unless of course you use Naked Snake's little pressure mod, which is absolutely fantastic, and I've done a variation on it to give slightly more even pressure over the whole area, and what that does is yeah, it's going to give us low temperatures or lower temperatures on the CPU. So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit more thermal paste into the CPU area. It was all pushed out, you can see I've kind of pushed it back in to the middle. I've just added a bit more there because we are adding pressure. It does tend to come out a little. So here we've basically got all the pads on. We've got our liquid metal on the die, and because we've spread it out so thinly, we're not actually getting it dripping or anything, which is great. We don't want that. Now I've delidded it, I wonder if we're going to get readings again. PS3 is a minefield. Yeah, 2.9, that's a nice healthy reading. 3.4, wow. Yeah, well, I've got an extra, one there and an extra couple here. Really does make a difference tagging those on. For all I know, a FAT could just come, I mean, because I've ran through the whole of The Last of Us, for all I know, a FAT can't handle The Last of Us, and it does shut down now and again. I've seen lots of people online saying that they just won't use their FAT to play The Last of Us, but I use it as a benchmark task, and the moment I added these on, we had no problems. So yeah, so now when I do a refurbishment, I'm seriously considering especially on these backwards compatibles, tagging on 2 on the CPU and 1 on the GPU. The reason it's only 1 on the GPU is because it's the only safe place to put it. You can't get 1 in there, it will touch both rails. I don't know if that's going to make a difference. Have to do a little bit of research into that. And if you add 1 up here, it's just too near the clamp where we're applying pressure, so it could get crushed, so I didn't risk it. And then on the other side I had a look, and it just wasn't great. I'll have another look again, because it would be nice to just get 1 more on the RSX. But yeah, green light of death tends to mostly be a CPU substrate problem, and I think as that substrate was starting to lose contact, it might have worked for some time, which is why it works and you get graphic anomalies. I think that then pushes the NEC tokens to work harder, and I think that's why it loves having these on there. And yeah, straight play all the way through The Last of Us with these tokens on, it was absolutely fine. Right, okay, so so yeah, this is the first time of putting liquid metal on a FAT. I've done it on, when I say a FAT backwards compatible, I've done it on a non-backwards compatible. I think it was a G revision. Replaced I just took 2 of the RSX tokens off and replaced them with 6 titanium capacitors. Exactly the same ones, actually, the ones I've used on this board, Panasonic ones. I find they do the job for this really well. And yeah, but first time for liquid metal on one of these. I don't think it's going to lower the temperatures, but what I do think it's going to do is give the RSX more life. How is that possible if it's not lowering the temperatures? Well, it's because the paste is just going to last longer. Well, the liquid metal, should I say, is going to last longer than typical paste. You don't get the degradation as much, so even though the temperatures are about the same, it's about right. Okay, let's put those in. So yeah, I do have a couple of screws I missed last time, so I knew I'd probably be opening this again because it's very experimental. But it's these sort of experiments that lead to, you know, what people need to do. I mean, having quite a simple mod to fix, well, let's say, to get your console to boot, it's not a fix, it's a mod. For the average person is going to be far more of a viable option than taking off the CPU or reflowing the CPU, because this board tends to popcorn no matter how long you preheat it for. You tend to get it on the RSX, and even though you're heating up the CPU, it's too near, it popcorns the RAM chips, and yeah, that isn't great. You've just ruined the board, basically. So this, no heat required. The only heat I've used is from a soldering iron onto the titaniums that are tagging on, and I'm very happy with the results of that. It had an instant result. of, yeah, we're not, it's no longer failing on me after a couple of hours gameplay. Yeah, I think I played this one 3.5 hours. No shutdowns. Went through all the same spots that the other ones did shut down on prior to me putting the titaniums on. Went through them, no problem at all. No sign of a shutdown or anything like that. So I'm just going to finish this putting back together, so you don't have to listen to me blabbering on. And I'll see you when we're ready to test. Okay, so here we are. So it's good that it's booted. Always slightly apprehensive when you put liquid metal on. I don't think the CPU is going to be staying at that. I mean the GPU. I don't think the GPU is going to be staying at 36 degrees. That would just be some sort of miracle. Like I say, I expect the temperatures to be the same, but you know, just in case we get an improvement on recording it. Go into the woods. So this system was a pure green light death, no graphic anomalies, just no sync to the controller. You can get it where it syncs to the controller, the pressure mod won't do anything because it's booted, it just doesn't show it on the screen. Green light death that this sorts out, you don't get a boot, you don't get a synchronization. that's basically the long and short of it. You don't get anything. If you're not getting it through the HDMI, try the AV port, and if it doesn't work through the AV, it's likely to be an RSX problem. I'm just finishing putting the screws in. It's not, as we're not touching the motherboard, it's all safe. Just okay, so as it goes in, now if I left it here before, we would get CPU at 58 and RSX could go up to 62. I know CPU at 60, so should I say, and RSX at 62. As you can see, RSX is still rising, but it's slower. So, yeah, that's something to take away. Why don't you just take me back to Marlene?
She was up to the task. Why'd she drop you off on us?
Well, maybe she's better now.
I don't mean upset. Your friend's chances of survival weren't too high to begin with.
She's a lot tougher.
It don't matter. Because I doubt I can get either one of us back in the city in one piece. Trust me. I wish there was some other option.
Hey, buddy. Whoa, look! Fireflies. I mean, real fireflies.
Yeah, I see that.
Sorry. I lost myself for a second.
Here we go.
RSX still rising, but slowly rising.
You, Bill?
What are you usually made of?
Huh? Different places.
You've never been here, have you?
I know this is where he lives, but no, I ain't never been here personally. Sure as hell better be.
let's just leave it there, see if we get any more rising with the RSX. So I'm just going to pause the video. You can see what the time is. We're going to come back to it in about 10 minutes, see if we've got see if this RSX rises anymore. If not, then it's a good. Oh, it's risen by 1 degree already. Anyway, I'll pause it. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Alright, so I've left it for about 20 minutes, and as you can see, RSX is at 56 degrees. This would normally be in the 60s, late 50s, like 59, 60, and it did go up to 62. Yeah. So let's play it a bit, see if we can get it to rise. Oh yeah, we've got it to 57. It has been going.
Here, boost me up.
I mean, at the very...
No, that's not such a good idea.
Well, I can't boost you up. How else are we gonna open it?
It definitely takes longer to rise. It's flickering between 56 and 57. Which is, you know...
Yeah, just open it. Nothing else. Open it.
Sure thing.
I mean, I'll have to do some more extensive testing, but at the very least, it takes longer to get there.
Let's see. Okay. Ta-da!
And if I wanted to reduce the temperatures and I was really worried, I could just increase the fan speed. There's no... I don't think there's any need for that.
So let's say we get a car from this buddy of yours. Then what?
Well, then we go find Tom.
Marlene said he's your brother?
More important, he was a firefighter. We know where to take you.
Okay.
He lives far from here, which is why we need the car.
Hey, look! No!
Yeah. Who knows?
Man, I had an art book filled with these. I always thought they were super cute.
Yeah, 57 degrees.
Not very so.
You know, after nearly half-hour gameplay, this would definitely be on 61, 60, 61, 62. When you go into cutscenes, it does lower both the CPU and GPU, so it gives the cutscenes always give the processors a rest. But yeah, is it worth putting liquid metal on your RSX? Yeah. Even if it takes longer to get to the temperatures, it means that your system is hotter for less time. And it's just gone down to 56 degrees again, so CPU's the same. This is all very experimental. I'm reluctant to delete the CPU. Too many horror stories. I mean, I've done it. I don't. It's only in the early days that I have any failures, but there's always that risk, you know. RSX just gone down to 55. Back to 56. You know, it's going between 55 and 57. Before, this was in the 60s. Same as the CPU. Is it conceivable to delid the CPU, put liquid metal on there? Would it drop the same? Interesting.
Jesus!
Oh, Nelly. What the hell was that?
That would be one of Bill's traps.
Yeah, just dropping.
Friend of it paranoid, maybe?
Just dropping it by 1 degree. It makes a huge difference, and yeah, RSX has gone back to 56 again, so it's not like it's topping out 57, nearly going to 58, maybe 59. It's not doing that. It's 56, sometimes edging on 57,
Watch your step, we'll be fine.
and going back down to 56. So yeah, I'm very pleased with that. And I know it's another lengthy video, but all in the name of working out what we need to do with these fats. Oh, I've got a bow and arrow to collect. She's going to push me on. Okay. Hold down to quick. Yeah, RSX back down to 55. Yeah, this is quite. I mean, that.
Pretty good shot with that
I
bow.
didn't think it would have that much of an impact.
Well, we could both be armed, cover each other.
I don't think so.
Because the die was covered, it just shows you that.
Okay, come on up.
I think definitely what it's highlighting is that you definitely, to get best possible temperatures
Use this.
on a unit like this, it's obviously had some heavy gameplay, even though the power on time is not high. It's obviously had some heavy gameplay. So yeah, changing the paste is probably advisable under the CPU as well. Yes, I'm reluctant to do that, but maybe I'll do it. I do need to get some more liquid metal, so I'll get some more liquid metal and see if placing that under the CPU has any effect.
Shit.
Oh, I've got nothing to shoot with. Obviously should have picked up some arrows. I certainly shouldn't have smashed that bottle against the wall. One arrow. Oh, now I can't get back across. That might have to be a reload. Unless I can get back up from there. Hang on. Okay. Not quite a reload. Yeah, 32% fan speed. CPU 60, RSX 55. If I can get the RSX.
Let's give this baby a whirl.
Where are we going? That's where we want to go. I'm not supposed to get past that without any bullets.
See that wire? Stay underneath it, okay? Just keep your head low, you'll be fine.
Wow, I've always just blown that up. I never thought of pouring underneath it. Oh, it just shows you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If I can throw a block, that's it.
Alright, stand back.
Alright.
Right, no, that didn't work. Right, anyway, yeah, I'm getting way too into the game. So, yeah, by the looks of it, we've got a depletion of at least 4 degrees on the RSX with a bit of liquid metal. So looks like we're buying some more liquid metal, and I'm not sure I'm going to do it on this one, but definitely one in the future. I'll definitely be doing a liquid metal CPU, and we'll see if we get any improvements on that as well. Right, thanks for watching.